everyone, welcome back to another edition with Chit Chat with Homie right here on 9JARADIO on Radio Mat. Puntanel, and it's been a long week. It's been a beautiful week. The weather is spring now. It's nice. If you can see me, I'm even having a dress on today. It feels good again, not to be so wrapped up like a gift. I don't know. I feel so good. It's nice with nice weather, good energy. So I'm happy to be back in the studio today, and I have a special guest of honor. His name is Pastor Elvis Iruh. He's the owner of the Voice magazine. He's a pastor, and he's also the owner or publisher of many books. One of the leader of initiation of African Unite. He's in the movement of African coming together and stronger Africa. So he has so much to say. He has so much to learn, and he happens to be also a journalist. So he has so much stories to tell us in the studio today. Enjoying the mint of the wonderful music, and I'm here again. Let's do this. Jealous of the wind. Hey everyone, thank you. We're back. I have my special guest of honor. I have Pastor Elvis Iruh here, and he's right here in the studio. So let's start. And good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us in another amazing section. I'm so happy to have you here. We have so much to talk about. The last time I remember on the phone, you told me like what I'm doing now. You used to do it, how it was back in the day, and and I was just But before we get there, please can you introduce yourself to everyone listening to us right now? Please.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
You've mentioned my name. I'm Pastor Elvis Iruh. I'm a Nigerian from Delta State, in a place called Owalero. It's in the Cardinal East, and I lived the early parts of my life in Nigeria till when I was 30.
Wow.
Then I moved abroad, and I've lived here since then, and I'm 56 now, so that's about 26 years ago. So
lifetime. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. And before we start, so I want to go back to when you said to me, I promised myself I'm going to ask you this. How was it back then when you were living, when you moved? How was things back then, like when you moved down?
Well, honestly, 2-3 hours is not enough to talk about my life. So I studied in Nigeria.
Yes,
I read journalism. Actually, I read broadcast journalism. So I was into radio and television. And my first employment was with Radio Lagos in Alausa in Ikeja. So I have good idea of how radio station works. So I was a news reporter. And then I did some programs. I remember YG's Club, which was for young people. I did all of that. And then when I came over to here, it wasn't that easy. Through one Pastor Jerry Suleiman, he's also a Nigerian, but he moved to the UK now. He had the opportunity to meet the director of a radio station called Mundo. It was then in central Amsterdam. And he discussed with him that he wanted to have an hour show to play Nigerian music and discuss about Nigeria and Africa in general. So he was granted the opportunity, but he couldn't do it. So because he knew I had a journalism background,
Yes,
he contacted me, and I did it for over a year. So between 1995, 96, 97,
wow,
thereabout. So it was good because then it was a multicultural radio station with people, just like what you're doing now. So that was how I had 1 hour. It was from 11 p.m. to 12 midnight. Quite late, and Yeah, we played African music, and a lot of people did tune in because I used to play the Afro beat, mostly Fela, and a lot of Dutch people knew who Fela was, so they could also phone in, you know. So because it was late hour in the night, people were already preparing to go to bed, so they had time, and there was good interaction.
Talking of Fela, we're gonna be going there. I will make sure I bring you back in those days. I promise it's gonna be back in memory lane. And this is so for me, I'm just starting, so it will be exciting. I'm so happy to have someone like you here in the studio with me, and you give me hope it's gonna be okay, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It's slow, and then I grow. And I was reading about you, and I find some interesting things I would like to go over. So let's start with the amazing, like the amazing Voice magazine, the Voice magazine. Can you please tell us the story about the Voice magazine, how it comes? Because I saw your motto from it. I think it's really amazing. I think I wrote it somewhere here. I'm going to read it. I have it saved there.
Actuated towards Africa's advancement.
Exactly, towards African advancement. And it's please, can you tell us the story, please?
Like I told you, I had a journalism background back from Nigeria, big exposure. I was one of those who came to the diaspora because of the challenges the media faced in Nigeria, having been detained a couple of times under the military regime, and they made life very unbearable for us during the June 12th struggle. Abiola won the elections, so we were arrested, and so there was a lot of new publications that came up. One of them was Rizzo, and I was the editor, so they used to call us guerrilla journalists. We were fleeing from everywhere and trying to.
It was dangerous then, eh?
Yeah.
Really?
So when I came over here, I discovered that there was nothing for the African audience, for the African community. I go to the shops and I was trying to find something African, but there was nothing. And then we struggled with the language, so there was no means of communicating. And we started few other publications before The Voice. There was one called Insight. It was also formed by Nigerians, but I didn't like, because the other colleagues of mine, they were all business people. They were not journalists. So it's so for them it was about how to make money, but for me it was a passion. It was a lifestyle. So after we struggled for about a year, we come out 1 month, and then 2 months we are not able to come out. So I told them, guys, I want to do something of my own, that I can commit my life and time and everything to it. And that was how The Voice started.
Wow.
So just like the name, it was to give a voice.
I didn't think about that. The Voice.
Yeah, because we didn't. I thought, what should I call it? We were people, we were existing, but we didn't have a voice. So what was missing was a voice for us. So that was how I started.
African Voice.
I just call it because I didn't only want to make it an African thing.
Okay.
So I struggled with the name. Should I call it African Voice? Should I call it Nigerian Voice? Then finally I choose The Voice. I said,
voice for everyone.
The Voice is for everyone.
Yeah.
But then with the content of the magazine, the origin, that it is from Africa. It is produced and run by Nigerians. Yeah. So that was how The Voice came about.
Wow.
And it started. The first edition came out on August 12th, 1999.
Wow. I'm not good in math.
It's over 20 years now.
Wow.
21 years.
Wow. I would like to go quickly on a break, and I would like to take him back to the days where he was in the studio. So I'll be playing now Fela Kuti, Water No Get Enemy. Thank you. Enjoy the music in the meantime. Guys, hey, we're back again. We don't have all the time, so we better get to it, because soon at 6 o'clock I need to remind you the national news is gonna go on, and we're gonna be right back. So but we still have enough time in the studio, so let's get to it. So welcome back, sir. Welcome back, Pastor Elvis. And before we go, you were talking about the experience and how it was back in the days. And So if you look at journalism, let's say, like, back to what you were saying, like what, like, but from what it was back in Nigeria, and you being also a journalist here, what are the differences that you go to, like, in the course of works? What are, like, yeah, I don't know if you understand, like, how it, for you.
But I mean, the biggest difference is the freedom, freedom to express yourself, freedom to write what you like. Of course, you know, with the guiding rules, you know, knowing that if you break the rules, there are consequences, you know. So it was just that freedom, you know, that, and that was one thing that I loved in going into journalism, you know, freedom to write, to observe, and to express yourself, you know. So you can imagine when I was working with the Radio Lagos, it was a state government controlled media, and when I would go out to gather news, and I'll come back and I'll write the news, and when I go back home, my news editor will have changed the content of my story, you know, starting from the governor said, the commissioner said,
editing it, so they
because I was trying to pick up stories from human angle. You know, there was somebody that was inspiring me there. It was called Frank Olize on the NTA, how he was doing his program from the human angle, and it really touched me, that I felt this is how I want to report my story. So when I go to a scene, I try to look at it from not the conventional way of what the governor said, what the commissioner said,
controlled,
but that was not the case, because it was the state media. So after I will file in my report and I will go home, my news editor will rewrite the story in such a way that it suits the government, and I will be so angry with myself, like
your effort, everything.
So, and then they put my name at the end of it as report by VC, and I'm like, that is not my story. You guys have changed the story, you know. So I moved to the print, because there was a little bit of freedom, but then there was
the newspaper, you mean?
Yeah, the newspaper. Okay. So, but there was still harassment from the military government, police coming to seize copies of your magazine, raiding your office. But at least there was a little bit of freedom. So when I came over here and I mooted the idea, nobody disturbed me, you know. I even have written things against the Dutch government. I've written things against the police. They just give you a phone call and tell you this story is not correct, give us opportunity to see our own side of the story, and I say, why not? And then they give they give me an audience. I grant them an interview, and that was how I developed the magazine, that it got even to the palace, to the queen, you know, to the prime minister. So I was able to reach everyone just from there, because anytime I write a story that they don't find very accurate, or
they invite you,
they invite me and say, come, let's talk. You know, the police, you know, because there used to be a time we used to write about how hard and how discriminative the police were, but they told us, no, we are not so. We just want you people to keep to the rules, and if you don't understand it, come to us, we will explain it. Even they were giving me press release in English so that our audience could read it in a language that they understood instead of the complaint. So I mean, there's a huge difference, really. There is a huge difference. So just the environment, the freedom, you know, the liberty to write, to publish,
and without, they give you the platform to do
without nobody controlling you. I mean, just like what you guys are doing here too. If it's in Nigeria, you probably have to go through the census board, have to go through the media, all sorts of regulatory bodies.
You think it's still till now?
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, the other time they closed AIT television, as big as it is, because they said something that was offensive to the government, and so there's still a lot of regulatory controls over there with the media, and journalists are not safe. You know, the other day, journalist was harassed because he took picture of an incident at the wharf at the port, and they seized his camera, they beat him, throw him into.
It's horrible, and the military, the harassment.
So even under a civilian government, I mean, this is not even under military. This is something that is happening many years after I've left. That journalists are still being harassed and still being treated as common criminals. once
for doing their job.
Yeah, for doing their job, so you cannot compare the difference.
Oh wow. This you see, thank you for the lectures actually. This part I didn't know that for them, because you see on the news, and sometimes I'm like, what's going on, but then they go around like in the channel, for example, the channel news, what it is, which is supposed to be like the most standard one in Nigeria for information. I remember when this crisis came with the protest. Thank you. You know what I want to say. And then also they had the platform that you were expecting, like as professionals, the way it is, they would ask the question. But you see, like there was one that I watched, like the senator were only complaining about the salary. You kind of wonder, like why are they going around the bush? There are people dying, and everybody knows. But they if it was here, like for example, we have the police thing immediately. You have the phone and everybody already making it, and they're being called out. I didn't know, like
no, we have all sorts of media control bodies in Nigeria, even at governmental level, that you can be fined up to 5,000, 50,000 naira to 100,000. So there's also
as a journalist,
for defamation or whatever they call it, so there are too many rules, that makes the journalists not to be safe,
free,
and also to be contained in what you are able to broadcast or to say. So asking questions, you already have a thought in your mind that it could get me into trouble, and if you don't want to get to trouble, then you play safe. Like the type of question you said they're asking, instead of asking,
the brutality, so, like answers.
So you play safe, you want to go back home at the end of the
day. We want to be able to fly back. They don't it's really eye-opening, because you are much older, like you have more experience than people like us coming, and then we always have idea of how we want Nigeria to change, how we want Africa to change, and now we want good leadership. And it's just a bit still scary that even from what it was then, like a lot of change in terms of time, and still the process.
Much has not changed in that, but I remember when I went back to Nigeria, because I fled the country, and then I went back for the first time in 1999, and that was when Obasanjo came to power, when we started all this democratic thing. And just the way you are interviewing me, I was interviewed on one of the national television stations, and they asked me, Elvis, we know you were part of the struggle and you fought and you were jailed, but is this the type of democracy that you fought for? And I said no, but it was a process. It was better than the military.
Which one is it though?
Under the military, they just come to your office with a lorry load of soldiers and they beat up everybody they meet there. I'm being honest. Beat you up, seize your computers, throw everything down. Nobody queries them. Nowhere to report them to.
They're the government.
So they just, I remember for months we couldn't even access our building. We rented our office because it had been sealed up by the military government, because an article was written about Abacha that they were not pleased with. Not even the issue now was not whether what we wrote was accurate or wrong. It was just that
you said something against the president,
and that's it. They came and sealed up the place. And we told them, okay, let us get our things out. Then we find somewhere else to go and be doing our publication. No, you cannot access the building. It's a private building. We paid rent. We have contract, and yet we couldn't use the building. So we started using our cars as our office. We
dedication,
we write, and then
dedication.
Late midnight, we take it to the press. We have to even be moving from press to press because
nobody wants to publish.
We don't. Not that they don't want to publish, but we don't want them to locate, because they come and they seize everything. They go to the printing press and seize the whole materials and burn it off.
Jesus.
A lot of money. So a lot of people went through. So compared to now, there is improvement, that there's less harassment, but that
aspect of
press freedom is still not there.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for listening. We're still here live in the studio on 9JARADIO Radio on Radio Mat.nl, and I have today with me my special guest of honor, Mr. Pastor Elvis Iruh, and is the owner of The Voice magazine. Is also an author for many books, and we're gonna be talking about it. But in the meantime, let's go for a 5-minute break, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back, and we're still here right in the studio, and I still have my special guest of honor, and we've been talking about the differences between the journalism back in Africa and him moving here and doing what he loves here, which is journalism. So what are the orders and what are the but now we talk about the orders. What are the beautiful memories, like even though it was crazy then, like I mean, like they had this ups and downs to everything. Like for you back then, if you have to say, what were the good memories from those time, the experience, like what you've been through? What are the beautiful memories? For there are many people listening. Maybe they have kids listening to you that wants to become a journalist in the future. You don't know from here. Like, what are the beautiful things about like the whole thing, your experiences?
I mean, like I always encourage people, go after your heart, what your heart tells you, I have children now, and I'm not forcing any of my children to become like me, to be journalists.
They go for their own dreams.
Yeah, so they are pushing their own dreams. From childhood, I've always wanted to be a journalist. My dad didn't like the idea. He wanted me to be a doctor. I was so intelligent at school that he even went to my school principal to force me to do the sciences rather than the arts.
That's art, yeah.
But the principal told, and I remember the cover, and he told my dad, leave this young man alone, let him pursue his passion.
Yeah.
And then now that we look back, my dad is happy that
you follow
this is really what I wanted to do. It doesn't matter what it cost me, so there were good memories, I mean, even in those challenging times, there were good memories. And for a young man like me, under 30 years of age, could write an article that panics a president of a country.
The power.
That is power. So I saw that I was in a place of authority in my own way, that I could write something that could be of influence and that could make a difference. So during those periods that I was detained, rather than being broken, I was rather strong and happy.
Wow.
Yeah, because
that's strength.
Yeah, I met really people in detentions. They were detained for stealing, for for all sorts of criminal acts. But if they ask me why am I detained, because of my writing,
it's different.
And you can imagine the first time I was taken to court and they read the offenses they leveled against me: treason, sedition, and I laughed. Honestly, it was so ridiculous that the judge asked them to remind me for another 1 week for contempt.
Contempt of the court.
Yeah, because they leveled such a heavy accusation against me, and I was just laughing about it, because for me it was like,
ridiculous.
I mean, like, so I was just thinking to myself, so that thing I write, does it have such influence that the government had to ask the whole police unit to fight charges, to write. In fact, I still have those documents in my file. I can't even count how many charges they brought against me. Young, and you can imagine how I look like them. Very skinny, young,
ambitious as well. Very.
Yeah. That people felt like this guy is innocent. He's too young to be a threat. I don't have a gun. I don't have a group. I remember the first time I was detained. The officer that detained me, Una, I still remember his name. He's from Cross River State. The man looked at me and says, you're as young as my son. I feel so sad that I have to do this, to lock you up in a cell and go home,
to sleep.
To sleep. You could just be my son, but then he says, these are instructions from above.
I can't. It needs order. It's just following order.
Yeah, so he cannot do anything. And I told him, I said, sir, I don't hold you. I mean, I know who is responsible for that. I know if the president gives an order that some people should be detained and order, who are you to say no or to reverse it? So I just didn't. Honestly, I didn't see him as a bad person or had a bad feeling about him. And all it took was just one night in the cell. And of course, I was scared the first
Nigerian
time.
cell, Nigerian prison.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
I've never been there before. So I got my baptism. I got the experience. And then by the next day, I was good with it. I was detained for 3 months in a row. I was detained one week. Just various times. They just release you from one day to another day. They just come and say, Elvis, take your things. We are going again. To release. Then you go home, and then before you know it, you are back again. So
it's like a roller coaster.
But for me, it was just that ability to express myself. And that is all I wish for young journalists, who are out there or who inspired to be there. Just go for it. Now there are more opportunities than what we have now. With the social media, everybody's blogging, everybody's writing.
Everybody's a vlogger.
So now you cannot even control everybody again as they used to. So yeah. Those were good memories, the ability to connect with one another. And you can imagine we didn't have all these media software, gadgets, so we have to travel from one point to one point. If I need to see my publisher, I need to go to his house.
Or travel.
I need to. Because there was no telephone, there's no mobile phones, so we have a landline in the office which you cannot carry with you. So there was a connection, it was like a family. All the staffs knew each other. We knew their homes, and when one person is in difficulty, other people goes to comfort to assist. So
it's like a family. It's like a brotherhood. It's kind of brotherhood, like a community.
My publisher then, Moshood Fahim, who is now in America, we are still in contact to this day. From that early connection that we had, and most of my colleagues, we are still in contact. We still ask after each other, but we built such a bond. So media then was like a family. You know
what's gonna come, and you are ready for it. You know the ups and the downs,
and we know how to support one another.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
It's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful experience.
That's apart from the prison time, like I cannot imagine going to prison. I was living in Ikoyi, and I know, if you go through this, I heard about it, like the Kirikiri or
Kirikiri, Shangisha. I've been to all of the. Look, Kirikiri is good because it's an establishment.
It's even good.
Yeah, it's an establishment, so there are rules, But when you are detained in Shangisha, those are the place where they tortured people and try to get information out of you before. Because when you are taken to Kirikiri,
they torture a journalist.
Of course, once you are there, you are just like a common criminal. There's no special treatment, or we sleep on the floor. So it's
wow.
That was just because they try to intimidate you. They try to break your will. They try to get information. Okay, for instance, many times they harass me. They ask me how much did Abiola give to us for writing about June 12th. What connection do we have with him? They want to know where he's hiding out, and we don't.
And you don't know.
We don't have those information. I remember once or twice I had interview with Abiola when he threatened to declare himself president, and we did carry the story, and then they came after us immediately. They came after us immediately after we published the story that Abiola says he's going to declare himself president. Where is he going to do it? We don't know. that is just...
You're just writing what
he gave
information
us.
So
we don't know where he wants to declare himself president. I don't know where he's hiding. I was in his house, and we met him in his house. But after that, Abiola was moving from place to place,
to hide himself.
Yeah, so he said, go find out. You are the police, so why should you be asking me? But where did you meet him? Where did he grant you this interview? In his house. They don't believe it. They say, oh, how can he be in his house? Yeah.
About it, it's not magic. You went there, you saw him.
The man was not hiding himself there. He had his own security, and the government didn't know how to deal with him or how to handle him, and the press was all over him, so, and he was freely talking. So it was just who have the courage to publish
it. So he was talking, but nobody was couldn't. The press couldn't now publish what he was saying.
Yeah, because it's at your own risk. It's you know the consequences. But my publisher was such a hardliner guy that he didn't care. He was just anything he could do to get rid of the military at the detriment of his own life and safety. He would do it. He was going to do it.
It's pro democracy. You guys are really pro democracy.
Even I remember his statement to Abiola then, the last interview we had. He said, "Chief, we are not doing this for you. We are doing it for the democracy, for the people." The 12 million people that have voted for you, that when you become president, we will come after you.
You don't need to forget them.
We're going to write about you. We're going to write about you, and we're going to talk about your many wives and your many children. And Abiola was like, "You dare not do it," like a joke. He said, "Wait until that time comes." So my pleasure was the type that it was just for justice. It was not because
of propaganda what we see now.
That we just love Abiola. We were just promoting him. No, because he told him to his face, he said, "Sir, when you become president, we will come after you. Because you two have to straighten up. Because it's not that you're not above
above the media. Everything comes out. You need to be. Thank you everyone for listening. We're gonna take a music break right now, and we'll still continue. So don't go anywhere. We have more for you where this is coming from. So enjoy the music. Thank you. Everyone, just a quick though, we'll be going on a break soon. By 6 o'clock the national news will be coming on, and after the national news we'll be right back with you. But in the meantime, enjoy the music and see you after the news. Thank you. Enjoy the music. Now we're going spiritual. So are you ready for the second part? So let's go. Everyone, we're back again, and I'm still here. Welcome back to 9JARADIO on Radio Mat.nl, and I still have my special guest of honor here today. I'm so happy he joins because there's so much to learn from him, and I'm glad it took his time to be with us here in the studio. I have Pastor Elvis Iruh here, and he's the owner of The Voice magazine, and he's also an author for different various books, and he's also a pastor. So it's kind of wonderful to see someone with multiple talents, and then we can just enjoy it today and tap into some of the God glory, and let's learn from him. I mean, for the young ones, for those who are not the spiritual ones, the professional ones, he has everything for everybody. So you cannot say you're listening and you didn't pick one thing. Then there's something wrong, because we go professional, we go everywhere, and everybody can pick what it's interested in. So let's get back to it. So welcome back, Pastor Elvis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we were talking about your experience as a journalist and how it was. So now we're gonna go back to another section of your life about you, because it's about you in the total different boxes. It's you not in any boxes, but every boxes. So we're going out, like I was saying a bit during the break, about your book. Your first book. So the book is called The Lakoko.
No, it's a Yoruba name.
Sorry, I'm like I know it's horrible. It's
Laluko.
Oh wow!
It's from Abeokuta. It's actually an autobiography of a Nigerian coach that I met in the Gambia.
The country Gambia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was working as a journalist. I did a lot of things, even in journalism. At one time, I was a sports writer, so I was covering sports. So I cover the Super Eagles. I cover tennis. Just mention any of the sports, and I do travel. And so when I traveled to the Gambia, I met him there, and he was like the coordinator of Gambian football, and he was very versatile, and I was shocked. Speaking to him, his English was very good. So then I asked him, "Who are you?" And then he told me his name. He was Kashima Olaluko, and that he was the first black person
to train,
to be seconded to Liverpool in the United Kingdom. So
like a coach.
Yeah. So he was trained in Liverpool as a coach and actually worked there before coming back to Nigeria. And there were reports then when Omokachi went to play there that he was the first black person.
Yeah.
So and I was like, this is not adding up. So I investigated and I discovered that it was true.
It was the first black person to play in Liverpool.
Yeah, trained there and became a coach.
The coach himself.
He had all the qualifications. He could actually be a national coach for the national team. That was how versatile he was. And at the end of the day, after my book, he rose to become, the technical director of the Nigerian Football Association.
Wow.
So my book, actually revealed him to Nigeria.
To bring him out.
Because he was just doing his own thing and all that. But I said, no, I have to write something about
his biography,
about this man. And I was also somebody who did not like when people die, we start praising them. They are good. So with the little resources I had, and he was surprised because he kept asking me, "Why are you so interested in me?" I said, "Your story is phenomenal." Because that was covering sport. We were hiring foreign coaches. We brought Bonfrey Joe from Holland.
From Netherlands,
We brought
from the Netherlands as
Clemens
well.
Westerhoff.
The French one as well. There was at one point German, French.
And all these ones have no profile. Westerhoff did not even coach a second division team here in Holland that will make him a national hero in Nigeria. So and I was like, no, there's something not happening. That's the type of person that I am. I'm so inquisitive that I will dig down to
why.
So that was how that book came about. So with a friend of mine, Charles Wagbara, we both put our little resources together and wrote that book. We had it launched at the National Stadium.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, in Nigeria, 1995.
Wow.
And it was after the launching, it was the proceed of the book that I used to travel out of Nigeria.
So everything connected. You see, everything is
all because
connected.
Then I was, because they were disturbing me with my work from 1993 to 1994 with the June 12th crisis and all that. And it was in the midst of that I started writing this book as a way to occupy myself, since I couldn't practice
what you love,
what really was my passion. And then with the intention that whatever money that comes out of it, I'll use it to do something, either start a business. I just had things playing on my mind, just
do something. You have to be productive. Just to continue your productivity.
Because my parents were really concerned that I couldn't continue that type of journalism that I'd wished for. So the option was that I need to get out of the country, even if it means going to Ghana, just outside of Nigeria,
across the border.
Just to do something else, So the book gave me that opportunity. So it was a success. After that, he was contacted by Pepsi, Nigeria,
Pepsi,
and then he started a football academy with Pepsi.
Back then, up to
now, it's still in existence now. That became Pepsi Football Academy, and he was the director.
Wow!
So
the power of writing,
So he remains very grateful. He's an old man now, but he remains very grateful.
Still in contact with him?
For the opportunity that I gave to him and to bring out his story. Of course, it was not everything that was positive. I also wrote about his family life. He was a man that was involved with so many women and all that. He didn't like that aspect of the book.
You're a journalist, right?
I cannot just praise you.
It's journalist, A plus B.
Yeah, it was to talk about your life. So it is good and bad.
Exactly.
And the
It's
ugly
you.
of your life, you know.
It's
so,
you.
Yeah,
it's
so,
you.
And he was worried about his ex-wives, and some of them really came after him. Why did you say that about us?
They read it. The wives actually, like all the wives read it as well.
Because it's a published book, so it's. I mean, so.
And he has to be honest. Like a confession.
Yeah, it was like confession because I recorded it, so he couldn't say I didn't say it, you know. So I had my tape recorder. I recorded. I transcribed. I gave him to read. And then he wanted to start editing something, and then I said no.
It's not
he
possible.
said that we're going to publish everything, or we don't publish, you know. So
it's one or the other.
Yeah,
it's one or the other. Oh, wow.
So that was the first one, you know. And then, but I've written other books. I've co-authored books. You know, I've written for the European Union for prevention of conflicts. You know, so they hired me to write because I'm a good writer. So and they pay me. So I've written like 2 other books for international publications.
For the people listening, because I'm gonna check it out. Like, if you like, you have the title. Like,
I'm gonna send it to you.
Me, and then I will post it for everyone listening. I'm gonna post more of the details and contact, and if you want to read more, and you will read more, because I know, because he has so much. It's exciting. Like, you can read all his work. So. Yeah, and I'm so happy. Like, now I had 2 more. I didn't know. I'm going to research for all the other ones.
No, I'm going to send it to you.
I'm going to check
the European Commission for Conflict Resolution. They asked me to write an inspiring story for them, so which was based on my experience from Africa, which I did. Imagine. So it is there, and it was 35 stories of different writers from the world. I'm
getting. Thank you. I'm looking forward to.
So I'm going to send you the link.
And as well for me now listening to you, because like I said to you, I'm a student, so I study international trade and investment law, and I do a lot of things with international law and everything. And then like your experience as well for like young person like me, and how it works with working for all these multinationals. And I think it's exciting. There are many people from Africa like me. I'm proud from where I come from, and I'm like, you should be proud of where you come from. That's if you're Dutch, wherever it is you come, whatever you come from in the world, you should be proud of where you come from, because you know
that's why people ask me. They asked me that question: do you feel Dutch or you feel Nigerian? And I said, it doesn't matter how I feel. I am born Nigeria. My DNA is Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so that can never change. You know, not even in death. So, but I'm privileged to live here, to enjoy the nationality, and I keep.
Yeah, me too. I'm grateful. Opportunities we have then.
But that doesn't change the fact of where we come from and who we are.
Yeah, we're from Nigeria. So, and now I'm going to I'm thinking, because I want to make a big proper introduction to the next section that we're about to go, which is this new book. And before I got into the new book, I know everybody wants to hear the story, but just stay right there and enjoy some music. Take a break, and we'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back. And now we are in the other section, and this is my favorite part. We are here to talk now about his second book, which is just out, and the title of the book is called Getting to Know You, and we have a copy here. I don't know if for those of you looking at me on the internet, I have a copy, and please, can I have it? This is the book. It's called Getting to Know You. I think they can see you from. I can see myself. For some reason, I'm missing. I can see you. See, I think I can see you more there. So it's called Getting to Know You, and it's a book. It's a marital book. It's marital steps with information about marriage. So I'll give the floor now to Pastor Elvis to tell us more about this latest book, and where the inspiration comes from, or what's the story about it, and it's like, let him just tell us about the whole thing about the book, everything. I mean, everything.
Well, if I tell everything, they won't buy it. So I still wanted to buy the book, and
the juicy part. They say the juicy part.
There's so many books out there. and I don't claim any expertise, on the subject matter. Two things are involved. One is true inspiration, because of my faith as a Christian and as a pastor. I meet with people. People come to me for counseling, and I discovered that there were a lot of challenges people were facing in relationship.
To marriage, yeah.
Even those who are married, those who are about to marry. And then in 2005, I was privileged to go and pastor a church in Kenya through my ministry. So I was sent there as a missionary pastor. And then when I got there, I found that the same problem that I was experiencing in Holland was very visible also in Kenya. So it was not a cultural problem. It was not a tribal problem. It was just a general problem in relationship, between a man and a woman. And based on my knowledge of the Word of God, I knew the genesis of some of these problems. And
you married yourself?
Yeah, I'm married for 22 years.
Wow, beautiful.
I'm going to 23 now. November is going to be 23. And I started thinking, how to help people that were about to get married to have a good knowledge and grip of what they're about to do. And, and one that I discovered during my conversation was that a lot of people don't know each other.
They're strangers.
Yeah. So they had different perception that they will get to know themselves when they are married. Why the process should have started before that. So, and that's where
even when they date.
That's where the whole idea came about of getting to know you. So in the book I talk about where do we start, how do we date, how do we communicate, what do we reveal of each other, because when two people are getting into a relationship, the tendency is that we only talk about our good sides.
Yeah. You save the other side because you just commit honeymoon phase. They say
not even honeymoon phase.
Honeymoon phases, everything is great.
It's like what you are doing. You are doing marketing and branding, and so you want to brand yourself to the other person, so that the person also picks interest in you. There's nothing wrong in that, But once you cross that stage, then you need to open up to the other side of who you are. Like for instance. You want to date a lady or a guy, then you talk about your level of education, your background, your home, and all that. Now that you're in the relationship, you need to let the guy or the lady knows that, hey, I have temperament too. I'm not an easy person.
But do you think that like from what you're saying, this is really good, because you tend to just want to keep the good memory. I mean? You want to make it last as possible from the nice time, the spending time.
But it doesn't help, because at the end of the day, what breaks up people is the element of surprises that comes in. That is this the guy? Is this the woman? Because then you start seeing things that
this is not who I married.
Yeah, this is not which you could have addressed in the process. If you have temperament, if you are lazy, that you can't cook and all those things, just expose it and let the person understand what he's going into,
make his choice
and see, can I cope with this person, can I manage with this person. And writing from a Christian point of view, when you know these things, then you can seek some help, either spiritually or physically, psychologically.
Whatever help
there are
you need.
Institutions that can help with this. I use always anger as an example, because if you are temperamental, you are not temperamental only to yourself, but to other people around you.
Yeah, everybody.
And if you don't control it or have it checked or know what to do on both sides, that I can help you to manage it, in such a way. And I use myself as an example. My wife used to be a temperamental person when I met her. Anytime we have an argument,
spicy.
I just leave the house. I just give her space. I don't stay to heat up the argument.
Me too. I walk away.
I just walk away, take some fresh air,
calm down.
cool myself down. When I come back, my reflection and attitude is different to if I stand in the conversation and in
the heat of the moment. Yeah.
So I take a step back. When I come back, she too has calmed down. That even when I tell her, hey darling, the argument we had, I'm sorry, she even like, why are you saying sorry? I'm the one that should say sorry, you know. But I said it's okay.
Everybody move forward.
I just want us to deal with it and then move on, you know. But it's because I understand from the beginning that issue was there. But what if it has been kept away from me, that suddenly in the marriage, after the honeymoon, you started seeing that, and then she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't want to address it, and then you get also pulled back, and then before you know
there's a gap. There's
a separation, and before you know it, other things crops in.
Yeah.
And you know, so it starts from little things, you know. So the book, I call it a workbook. So it's not just only to give information, but how
like
to
a manual.
Like a manual, how to deal with things. So like people who are not married yet, I say do it with your partner, do it with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You know, ask some pertinent questions, even about raising up a family.
Yeah, some don't want kids, some want kids. You never know.
Yeah. So I don't want to be surprised that in the marriage you don't tell me you don't want to have kids.
And I have plans for 20 kids. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, so then there's going to be a whole problem, you know. And how many kids will you have, you know? Look, I envy my parents, but I don't admire their style.
No,
they just had us. And you
have to train the other ones. The older one has to train the other ones, and the other ones. It's like
so then when I look at our house, I'm like, how did we survive? 9 children.
9
coming out of one woman.
9.
Yeah, in a room and a parlor. You know, so I mean,
wow, 9.
But that's small. Nigerian women give birth to 14, 16. I've seen women with 14 children, and they are still looking like
from a woman. Oh, my goodness!
I'm talking about 9 surviving. My mom lost 3 or 4 children, so if they are alive,
she's a strong woman.
Yeah, but
she's really a strong
woman. She's just one out of a million. So many, because you grew up in the city. Go to the villages and see mothers and with children. When they start coming out of the house, you'll be wondering where
they sleeping.
Yeah, they just. And it's not only a Nigerian thing. I saw it in Kenya too.
I think in the Netherlands, the Dutch people also have kids. Back in history, historically, the Dutch as well.
They had 9, 10
they have
children.
A lot of kids. The Dutch like kids as well.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but now all of that have changed. I have 2 biological daughters. It was a whole big problem for my parents. There was pressure. When are you going to have a male child?
A boy.
You know, and every time they ask my wife will tell them it's not my decision, it's his decision.
It's our decision, both of you.
Yeah, but before we got married, I told her what I wanted. I said, listen, I want 2 kids. And then she asked me, what if they are girls or boys? I said, I don't care. All I want is just 2 children that God gives to me, and I give them my best. Because I don't want them to go through the same experience that I had. We have to share everything. I want to give them the best of me, and they're enjoying the best of me. Both of them are in university right now. They are doing well. 21, 18. There's a good gap between them, so they can take care of themselves. You know, so it was all planned. It was not by accident.
Wow.
But back at home,
it's just even now, planning is not even.
This one, we didn't even do any family planning. Just because this is what we agreed on, we work on it. Some marriages, it is sexual problem.
Yeah.
I hear the woman complain, the man is only asking for sex. But then I say, marriage is not about sex. You can pick sex anywhere. So if you are married because it's sex, then you are married for wrong reasons. And it's not going to last long. Because how long are you going to just be having only sex?
And pretending you enjoy it when you're tired of it as well. Like if the woman is already tired, like she's tired of it.
You know,
how long?
So the book entails a lot. You know, it's for those who have received it, who are reading it, they are calling me and they're telling me, Pastor, this is different. It's just different. It's not head knowledge, it's experience, and then it's divine revelation that you have received. So, and I backed up everything with my faith, you know, to say, listen, this and many of these things are written there. Why did God give Adam a wife?
The rib cage.
He created a lot of other things for Adam, and they were all good. Lions were there, tigers were there, more beautiful, more, Yeah, but he says they were all no good for him. And then he made somebody of his likeness. So that means we are supposed to be companions. We are supposed,
not alone.
So when I hear spouse killing each other,
yeah,
I mean,
scary.
It's ungodly, because that person is supposed to be your helpmate, your and when you see a good relationship, you see that there, that the man or the woman stands for the other person until they do them part, So it is biblical. It is not just head knowledge, How relationship should be. It's also in the Bible. If you go to the book of Solomon, Songs of Solomon, it tells us how you should treat your wife, your partner, Very romantic. In fact, when I quote things from there, people are like, this is the word of God. I say yes, because Solomon was a romantic. How can he had
100? How many wives?
900. If it's not romantic. So he was romantic. That anytime he opened his mouth to talk to a woman, the woman falls for him because he has the words to use to express himself. Apart from his word. So it's a book that I want to advise your listeners to have. It doesn't matter whether you are married
or you're single,
whether you are single
and you are dating.
Whether you are dating,
exactly. It's not about marriage alone. Relationship.
I've had mothers who have told me, I'm reading the book and it is helping me on how to guide my children because they are young and they are beginning to have relationship. So I know what to tell them, how to deal with them.
What to tell them.
When I was 25, I remember telling my dad I had a girlfriend.
25 in Africa. 25.
And my dad was like, what did you say? I said, I have a girlfriend. Okay. Ask her to come.
To the house?
Yeah. So I thought, okay, this is a good one. And then the girl came, and then she was sitting in her sitting room. And then my dad came to her. I was like,
if you're pregnant,
how are you? Are you fine? What's your name? Who invited you to this house?
Who invited you?
I said, Elvis. He said, what is going on between two of you? He said, it's my friend. He said, let me tell you about Elvis. Elvis has nothing to offer you. The clothes he's wearing,
I bought
it. Even the pants underneath, I bought it. This house is mine. He does not pay rent. His haircut.
I paid everything.
So you just tell her, whatever you admiring him,
it's for me.
It's for me. He has nothing. So better be careful.
At 25.
Yeah, because I was just starting life, So it was like, whatever you are doing with him, be careful. She know where my dad was going, because if you get pregnant, don't come here and come and tell me
he's married. Hunger will kill you.
Yeah. So after that, when I went to visit the lady, she said she's not coming to our house again. That was the end of the relationship.
It really worked.
Of course, yeah, because she was just being told that the guy, I don't know what he's telling you, that he's getting you excited, but he
has nothing for you. And he can't help you. He can't do nothing for you.
When he's ready, I will tell you. My dad told her, if he's ready, I will tell you.
Did he in the end?
No, but by the time I was ready, now I can make my own choice. I only told him that I'm ready and this is it.
This is the woman of my dream.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice than to say, okay. So but now, my own daughter here, when she was 18, just immediately after 18th birthday, she told me that
I have a boyfriend.
I have a boyfriend.
How did you deal with that?
No problem. Just the same way my dad deal with it. Tell the guy I want to see him. So,
oh my goodness.
And she was like, what are you going to tell me? See, that is not your problem. It is man to man.
Let him come home.
Let him come to me. So the guy came, and then just the way we were having a conversation, I sat down with him. And then I told him about my daughter. This is my daughter. This is how I've raised her up. This is my expectations for her. I'm a Christian. I'm a pastor. So if you want to go out with my daughter, these are
what's necessary.
What I expect. And if you can do that, then it's all yours. If you want to marry her tomorrow, you come to me. I'm ready.
You bless
you. You are blessed. So the guy went back to my daughter and said, your dad is funny and serious.
funny and serious in the same sentence.
Yeah,
the same sentence.
Yeah, I said because the way he was saying it was like a joke.
But it's serious.
On his face that
it's not
serious.
a joke.
It was not a joke. He was just
not a joke.
What he wants.
And I understand. And
the
then
young
you
man
understand.
is still with my daughter, and they are doing well.
Oh.
You know, I give them the room, I give them the boundaries, and they're just following it. And every time I check on them, you know, so.
Yeah.
But I hear some parents who say no, they cannot date. If
They
cannot date, how would they get to know each other?
Yeah.
The other day, the guy came to my house, and then he said, "My daughter is a good cook."
That's a compliment.
So I said, "That's
nice. That's nice."
So then, after he left, I told my daughter, "You see what I've been on your case, teaching you how to cook."
Because now I get it comes back.
Yeah. So and then she told me that I love you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was not getting it then, but now I'm beginning to see it. I said because
I'm a man. You're also a man yourself, so you're on.
So the guy doesn't want every time restaurants food and all those stuff. He wants the lady he wants to be with to cook for him, and he wants to enjoy it.
But what do you like? Before I'll have a question for you, but let's take a quick 2 seconds, just a little break because we have so much to talk about and the time is running. Let's take for everyone at home. Let's take some music and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. We're still back.
Hallowed be thy name, Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name, you are the most high God.
Hey everyone, we're back, and still in the studio with my special guest of honor. Is the man with everything. Like I call him the mysterious man because he has so much knowledge in different aspects of life, and it's so nice to have him in the studio, especially for me as a young I don't even know what how to say in journalism, what is his field, and with also different background. I think we are so much similar. Like he's seen a lot of work. He's been with international community, African community, and everywhere. So his experience goes across different aspects of life. And we're talking about his book. My guest's name is Pastor Elvis Iruh. Is from Nigeria. I think if you're just joining us, you haven't lost much because you are getting the major part of the information at this moment. So please sit down and still enjoy the bit of the studio live section going on. And we're talking about his book, his latest book, which is called Getting to Know You. And thank you so much for the knowledge, and I learned a bit, one or two as well, like I was talking to you during the break. It's quite exciting. You don't have to be a Christian. I think you don't need to just be a Christian. I mean, everyone can relate to it. I think you go through relationship, as anyone that goes through relationship can understand what he's talking about in this book. And for me it's like mind opening because we all have hesitance, you go, everything is so nice, and then you don't know, everybody comes with a baggage, but you don't want to talk about your baggage in the beginning. You want it to just be with you because you reserve, and then comes the time when you cross that boundaries where things needs to be
more exposed.
Exactly, like you said. So that's his book is more about the manual. So it's a manual. It's not even teaching you. It's like a manual or a guide. Things you can put in your mind. So it's something for yourself that you can walk with and say, let me try it as well. Like, see how it goes. It's the word of word.
Practical exercise.
Yeah, it's practical exercise. So, and I was talking for a lot of people that might be interested in grabbing this wonderful book, which I'm getting as well. How and where? What are the avenues? Where are the channels that they can use to get it? Where can they grab a copy? Like I say.
Well, I just sent some copies to Kenya.
Yeah.
In fact, it's leaving tonight on flight to Kenya because I've been getting calls from Africa. Unfortunately, it is too expensive for people them from Africa to order from here. Yep. So the book is right now more for Europe and America.
Within Europe
and America, yeah.
okay.
I mean, the rest of the world, where it's a bit cheaper in terms of postage
Posting
and all
and that,
you know. But for those in Holland,
Yeah.
I have a website.
Okay.
www.elvisiru.com. That's on my
Can
name.
you hear it? www.elvisiru.com. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dedicated to this book.
Okay.
So there you can ask me questions.
Okay.
You can even blog. You can write your comments. You know,
So you can chat with him live, like
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You can have a one-on-one section on your own, and it's just you see like a therapy. You have your own. You have his attention for yourself. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
your own guide. So it comes with the package. You
Yeah.
get after service. So with the book.
So I've been receiving that, which I'm gladly doing. You know that if you order a copy there, and then we'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But you can go on Amazon. You can go.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
Amazon.
all the also
Platform.
platforms
for the
for
bowl.com.
international books. Yeah,
What about
bowl.com.
bowl.com? You can also get it for the Netherlands. You
Yeah.
can ook koop in the my Netherlands is niet zo goed, maar it's up bowl of Amazon
Yeah.
of
or through my publishers.
or to the publishers.
Yeah, through Authorhouse.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
You know, just type in "getting to know you."
Getting to know you.
Or
Yeah.
just type my name. You know now.
Getting to know you. That's easier. You cannot miss it. Getting to know you. I want to get to know you. So hey, getting to know you. So who do you want to get to know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're scared and you don't know how to start the journey on going to this step forward, I think this is a way to cross over to the next chapter, right? It's like how you say to the next chapter
Yeah.
when you want to know, like, okay, now this is the one. I don't know if there's 1 or 20. This is how they say. But if you care so much about someone and you want to go deep with them, it's not the superficial anymore.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, this is like more the deeper connection, deeper meaning.
I mean, look, like some of the topics that I covered.
Yeah, okay.
Genesis of getting to know you.
Yep.
Why should I get married?
Okay.
Crossing over.
Yeah.
Your dating.
Yeah.
Training for singles.
Yeah.
Talking of marriage.
Yeah.
Who owns marriage?
Yeah.
Spiritual oneness.
Yeah.
That these are not only religious,
Stuff.
stuff. Spiritual oneness, financial oneness.
Yeah.
How do you deal with your finance as a couple?
As a couple.
Ministerial oneness, tying down a relationship.
So it's not to have it; it's how to hold it.
Yeah,
It's
to hold
keeping
it. Yeah, because of people, they keep changing. They keep saying, "I can't find the right man. I can't find the right woman." Well, both
that
of you
right?
are saying the same thing. You
But
know?
is there a right one? Like, is there a right? Like,
Well, when you find the right one, when you find one that you are able to get to know each other, it
Yeah.
becomes the right one, because
okay.
it begins to understand you, it begins to deal with your good and bad and ugly, and able to cope with it. You know, some couples, when you see them, you yourself is like, how is it possible these two can be
together, it's misfit. You think like they're totally. You see like it's a misfit. It's not. How did it happen? And
but
it
they
works.
get to know each other, and
And
then
it works.
It works.
And
You
it
know,
works.
so there's a lot of topics that is covered in this book. I talked about sex in marriage. Can marriage be perfect?
Yeah,
Because
seeking perfection.
People are struggling with that. Can marriage be perfect? And I say marriage can be as perfect as you want it.
Yeah.
So nobody should draw a yardstick for you to say this is a
what is
perfect marriage,
Yeah.
because there is nothing like that.
Doesn't exist. Even from like coming from you, the word like this is the man of God. Listen, this. I mean, if he says it, he knows what he's saying. There's no perfection.
No, but you can make it as perfect as
you want.
As you want it. Like one day, my daughter, because I normally take a walk with them, we chat, and then my oldest daughter was asking me, said, "Dad, I've never seen you quarrel with mom."
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, because
Bless her.
then I told her we quarrel.
But
The
you
only
don't
thing
know.
that we don't let you hear our voice,
You don't know.
and I think that must have shocked her. So I said we quarrel, but we have agreed between two of us that we will not raise our voice
When you're
because
around.
we have two young ladies that we are raising up, that we cannot show them a bad example of screaming at each other
Like an animal. Yeah.
But I hear some homes, when they quarrel, they throw
neighbor,
everything down.
The neighbors.
All the glasses fall down, the doors are broken, and the children express those to us when we talk to them of the type of, and yet in the church they try to be good husband and wife.
Behind the door.
They are all kissing and touching and all that, but it's an outward appearance.
They're playing their role.
Yeah. So what of the inside? So there's no perfect marriage, but it can be as perfect as you and your partner choose to make it. You know,
Yeah.
the same thing with your children. Your relationship with them can be as perfect as
you want
make
it, because
you
it's
know?
they're your family, your responsibility.
Do I quarrel with my children? Yes. Sometimes I get hard on them, they cry. And then I leave them to cry. And after crying, I go to them and tell them, sorry, dear, I still love you. And you still love me. And then they don't have a choice but to say, yeah, we love you, Dad.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we talk about it. Why was I hard on you?
Discussion.
It's because I want the best for you. That's why I'm hard on you. So it's not because I want to put you down. You know, in everything they do, I give them encouragement. Communication. Also talked about that in the book. There are a lot of marriages, the man and the woman have become brothers and sisters because they don't communicate anymore. So you know how you and your brother behaves.
You just you walk past each other. You're just in the same house.
You want him to give you food. That's the only time you will come and serve me food. After that, you're on your own. You know?
Exactly.
That's how some husband and wife has become.
Yeah.
They don't eat together anymore. They hardly do anything together anymore,
as a couple,
except when they want to sleep with each other. But it is more than that.
It's lonely, actually. It's so lonely.
Yeah. So I was sharing with a couple, and the man was looking at me so strangely when I told him marriage is not about sex, because every complaint he was making was only about sex. When I want it, I
She's
can't
not
get
there.
it. And I said, listen, if he gives it to you when you want it and she's not interested,
it's like it's rape. It feels like a rape for a woman. It's horrible,
and it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
So it's just you satisfying yourself, and that's greedy, and that is lust. So it's supposed to be something both of you enjoy.
Yeah.
The Bible says both of them were naked but were not ashamed. That is sex. So I said, if somebody else's wife stands before me and try to pull off her clothes, I'll be ashamed. If she's not ashamed, I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like, I'm going to close my eyes or run out of the place. Yeah. But if it's my wife,
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I compliment her. But it's in God's word. He said both of them were naked, but they were not ashamed because they were meant for each other.
Yeah. Wow, so much to learn. And I mean, this is like wonderful. I told you, I promised you it was going to be insightful, informative, and it's going to be like in your living room listening to a chat from your brother, your sister, or your friends. And it's been wonderful having you in the studio, because I could go. I'm looking.
If they can also send you a mail, they can send you a mail if they want more contact. You know, to get out to get the book. You know,
and I would even still come there because the time is coming soon, and we have like 6 minutes in the studio. But before we go there, Pastor Elvis is still gonna pray for us a little bit, and for your church, like for your contact as well, for not just the people, for all your contact, because you have a ministry, like for people interested to come to listen to you and your word of God. Please, can you also give the information on how to reach you, where you're?
I'm based in Amire, Barbey Strat 12. The ministry is called Victory Outreach. I'm one of the pastors there. I'm actually not the senior pastor. I have a senior pastor. I'm one of the associate pastors, and I've been serving there for as long as I've been in Iruh, for more than 20 years. So I was ordained in 2005 there. So that's my ministry, and we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, you know. So I'll be preaching on Easter Sunday. So
please come.
If you connect to me,
come and join him live. And there's more to go there. If you you can see the man. You've been hearing his voice online. You can get to meet him, and you can bring all your questions. And I know a lot of people. I'm sorry we didn't have an open mic. And if you have a lot of questions, it's just the time is so short. We're gonna do another time, and then you can call in and you can talk to him. Like, I just want to give you a piece of a pie. Is that what they say? A piece of a pie. You don't get to eat everything at once. So that's what it is. But the contact, please listen to it again. Like for the book, you can get it also in bow.com. Getting to know you. Just Google it. If you're listening to me, like just getting to know you. Getting to know you. Is it only in English, or they have it in language? How many languages?
No, right now it's only in English.
Okay.
I've already received offers to translate it into Dutch.
Okay.
But
I'm taking your time.
I still have a huge market. I've not even penetrated, so I'm just taking my time.
Okay.
You know, the Corona thing slowed things down.
Yeah.
Because I should have been traveling now. I shouldn't have been in Holland by now. But God knows why. So I'm just taking it one step at a time. It's a book for life.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly. It's published. It's out there. It's there. You can always
my publishers are very impressed. Suddenly they said, we didn't know you are this big. You didn't tell us that you are this big.
You don't have the words don't speak. The action speaks louder than words, they say. So please, everyone listening to me today, and it's been wonderful again being in another section with you. I had amazing time, and it's actually one of my first day in the studio alone. I shouldn't be telling you, but I'm learning day by day, and I'm happy to have someone so experienced like him in the studio. It makes me feel kind of happy and comfortable, because it's like it shows me like it's step by step, and I look forward to building more knowledge and having someone like him as a guide. I mean, like we it's one day at a time, like you said, one day at a time. And please get your book, get a copy, because it's made to order, right? It's made to order, so that's how we call it. So if you want one, please. And how much is it? We didn't talk about the price.
It's just €15.
50.
15.
Oh, sorry. See, I like money too much. I'm sorry. It's not even expensive. So it's just €15, and it's a book of a lifetime. Something you buy, you give to your kids, and everyone.
Well, Easter is coming, so you can use it as a blessing.
Exactly. So Pastor Elvis, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you give us a 2-minute? By the way, this and the prayer is gonna be the end of our section. So Pastor Elvis is gonna pray for us, and I'll see you next week. It's been wonderful to have you guys in the studio. Thank you, Pastor Elvis, for being here. It's been amazing section having you here, and wonderful experience. You wanted like a living room experience. It's not like proper. I hope you had the same feeling. But thank you so much for coming. Please, can you help with the prayer a little bit before we round up? We have 2 minutes.
In Jesus' name, Father God, we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. First and foremost, we thank you for this nation. We thank you for the successful election, for our leadership. We thank you for the organizers of this studio. We thank you for my beautiful sister that is doing this, and for the originator of the program, and everyone that is involved, Lord, and those that have listened to us, Lord. Lord, I ask you to bless them, Lord Father. Amen. If they have issues in their lives, Lord Father, give them that opportunity to have somebody that can guide and help them. We give you praise in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen. Thank you, everyone, for being in the studio. And I'm still on behalf of myself, it's me again, still Naomi Shola, and it's been another wonderful edition. And on here with Chit Chat with Omi, I have more and more people, and Pastor Elvis is still gonna come back. You see, he has already promised. So we're gonna be right back, same place, same time next week. So please, looking forward to seeing you. Thank you everyone for wonderful day again as my co-host. Thank you. Bye.